The opening clash of Matchweek 6 in the 2025-26 Premier League sees Brentford welcome Manchester United to the Gtech Community Stadium, where the stands are buzzing with fans eager to soak up the sunshine and the football. For United, last weekend's 2-1 win over Chelsea felt like the perfect antidote after the bruising 3-0 derby defeat to City. Ruben Amorim and his players lived through a roller coaster night at Old Trafford. Bruno Fernandes struck early. Casemiro's red card flipped the game on its head, and United were forced into a desperate rearguard battle against relentless pressure. But in the end, only one thing mattered: the result. 3 points. That simple phrase sums up United's reality right now, because the football itself continues to leave plenty of questions unanswered. The return of Matheus Cunha from injury offered a glimmer of hope, though Amorim played it safe, instead pairing Ahmad alongside Benjamin Šeško and Bryan Mbeumo up front. Their energy and pace injected real spark into United's play, with Mbeumo carving out 2 near misses within minutes. That match even wrote its own piece of Premier League history, the first half featuring a goal, a red card, and a flurry of tactical substitutions all at once. Trevor Chalobah pulled one back for Chelsea, but United held firm to protect the 2-1 scoreline until the final whistle. Watching from the stands, Sir Jim Ratcliffe's presence made the win even sweeter, especially as he had publicly thrown his backing behind Amorim just 2 days earlier. Still, harsh truths remained. Ahead of the Manchester derby, United briefly stood above their city rivals in the table for the first time since 2020. But the humbling 3-0 defeat at the Etihad served as a brutal reminder of the gulf in class. Amorim now finds himself under mounting scrutiny, hammered by the media and facing whispers of doubt within his own dressing room. Yet the Portuguese coach refuses to bend, clinging firmly to his philosophy and vowing not to compromise his style, even if the results haven't yet won over the masses. On the other side of this matchup, Brentford bring a very different storyline. Under new manager Keith Andrews, the Bees are still trying to find their rhythm, and last weekend's 3-1 defeat to Fulham was another reminder of the bumps along the way. They actually started brightly, with Mikkel Damsgaard pouncing on a mistake to give them the lead, but defensive lapses soon undid their hard work. Once Fulham turned the game around in the second half, Brentford's fragility on the road was once again laid bare. Yet, there's another side to this team. At home, they've shown plenty of fight. At the Gtech Community, they've already held Chelsea to a dramatic 2-2 draw, thanks to Fabio Carvalho's stoppage time equalizer, and before that, edged past Aston Villa 1-0. Even in the cup, they knocked Villa out on penalties, a result Andrews pointed to as evidence of his side's growing maturity as a unit. 4 points from their opening 2 home games may not sound spectacular, but for Brentford fans it's enough to spark belief, especially with their away form still struggling. The contrast couldn't be clearer. 3 straight league defeats on the road, but back at the Gtech, Brentford tend to come alive. That alone makes them a dangerous obstacle for a Manchester United side still stumbling its way toward consistency. History between these two adds another layer. Across 21 meetings, United edge it with 11 wins, while Brentford have claimed 7 and just 3 have ended level. Perhaps the most memorable of all came only last May, when Kevin Schade's brace inspired a wild 4-3 win for the Bees in a game that had everything. Since Brentford's promotion in 2022, they've faced United 7 times, winning 3 of those encounters and pushing the Red Devils harder with each passing season. That's what makes this clash so intriguing. 2 clubs at different stages, but both with plenty to prove. For United, it's about building momentum and showing that their victory over Chelsea wasn't just a fluke. For Brentford, buoyed by their home crowd, it's a chance to prove that May's thriller wasn't a one-off, and that they can once again stand toe-to-toe with one of English football's giants. As the whistle draws near at the Gtech Community, all eyes aren't just on form, but also on the fitness of both squads. For Brentford, hamstring injuries continue to sideline Gustavo Nunes and Paris Magoma, though both have resumed training and could be back soon. Mikkel Damsgaard, fresh off illness, returned against Fulham and is expected to line up alongside Jordan Henderson and Igor Yarmolyuk. That trio promises a midfield blend of grit and guile, tenacity off the ball paired with sharp passing vision, qualities Brentford will desperately need against a heavyweight like Manchester United. Given their current options, Brentford's projected starting 11th looks like this: Kelleher between the sticks, Aaron Hickey, Vandenberg, Nathan Collins, Ethan Pinnock, and Lewis Potter forming a five-man backline, Henderson, Yarmolyuk, and Damsgaard patrolling midfield, while Igor Thiago partners Kevin Schade up front. A balanced mix of youth and experience designed to spring surprises when least expected. United, meanwhile, have injury concerns of their own. Lisandro Martinez remains out with the knee injury that's plagued him since February, and Diogo Dalot is unavailable due to muscle problems. On the brighter side, Ruben Amorim welcomed back Matheus Cunha and Mason Mount in the Chelsea game, and both should feature again, sharper and fitter this time around. One of Amorim's biggest dilemmas lies in goal. New signing Sana Lamens, brought in on deadline day, is still waiting for his debut, while Altay Bayındır remains the safer option thanks to his experience. Choosing who to trust between the posts in a high-pressure match like this is no small call. Up front, Bryan Mbeumo returns to the Gtech for the first time since swapping Brentford red for United red, a storyline rich with intrigue. He'll spearhead the attack alongside Cunha and Benjamin Šeško, a front three built on speed and unpredictability. In midfield, Casemiro's suspension following that costly red card against Chelsea forces Amorim to turn to Manuel Ugarte. The Uruguayan is set to partner Bruno Fernandes, tasked with keeping United's engine room ticking in what promises to be a fiercely contested battle. Manchester United's predicted lineup has Altay Bayındır in goal, shielded by a back three of Lenny Yoro, Matthijs de Ligt, and Luke Shaw. Amad Diallo and Patrick Dorgu will patrol the flanks, with Manuel Ugarte and Bruno Fernandes anchoring midfield. Up top, Bryan Mbeumo, Matheus Cunha, and Benjamin Šeško form a quick, fluid attacking trio. On paper, it's a system built on balance, solid at the back, explosive on the break. In theory, United still boast the deeper, more talented squad. In reality, though, their away record paints a very different picture. They've yet to win on the road this season, drawing 1-1 with Fulham and suffering a 3-0 derby defeat to City. With a goals record of just 1 scored and 4 conceded away from Old Trafford, Ruben Amorim's side needs sharp improvement at both ends of the pitch. The win over Chelsea did ease some pressure, but it also came with an asterisk. The red card to Robert Sanchez tilted the game heavily in United's favor. Even so, there are positives. United currently lead the Premier League in chance creation, averaging 16.2 shots per game. The issue, though, is turning those chances into goals. That conversion gap will need to close quickly if they're to cope without Casemiro and overcome their travel woes. Against Brentford, a team notoriously tough to beat at home, United cannot afford to waste a single opportunity. For Brentford, the Gtech remains their fortress. Unbeaten at home this season, it's the stage where Keith Andrews' men feel most alive, even as they come into this game on the back of 3 straight defeats in all competitions. That run has piled pressure on Andrews, and another setback could start to shake the confidence of both fans and hierarchy. But that's what makes this matchup compelling. On one side, Manchester United, steeped in tradition, desperate to claw their way back. On the other, Brentford, the embodiment of grit, stubborn resilience, and the ability to spring a surprise when least expected. When the whistle blows at the Gtech, all narratives, doubts, and theories will fade. For 90 minutes, only one truth matters: 3 points are everything.